Hey, it's Rich back with you for another video. We have a 2017 Citation M2 that's for sale. We're going to tell you about this airplane and a transition from maybe a turboprop or even like a Cirrus to a jet.
For 525 Kilo Bravo, clear to the Montgomery Airport. Fly runway heading, reaching 1,500. Turn left heading 180. And radar vectors to Pacific. Victor 208. Hubbard. Cardi. Direct mission bay. Maintain 3,000. Expect 1,000 1 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 125.35. And squawk is 4766. Approach in use. Runway 30. Long Beach Airport information, uniform 2253 Zulu, wind 210 at 1.
Okay, checks are all done, flaps are set. Flight plan looks pretty good. Flight director, we're going to be in heading mode.
Number 5 Kilo Bravo, runway 30, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 30525 Kilo Bravo.
Direct 1032, extend downwind, St. Cloud bases if able.
Takeoff power set. Engine instruments are green, airspeed's alive, 70 knots. Looks good.
After 4 Romeo Whiskey, downwind approved, pad 2 or 4, clear to land.
We'll take 4, downwind approved, clear to land, 4 Romeo Whiskey, pad 4.
Number crew check 1032, base approved, early 26 right, cleared for the option.
Traffic, 9 o'clock, same altitude, less than 1 mile.
Conditions if able.
We're still good visibility underneath the clouds.
Number 5 Kilo Bravo, thanks. Contact hotel departure.
Roger. SoCal Citation 525 Kilo Bravo is in the turn to 180. We're out of 2,000 for 3,000.
Citation 525 Kilo Bravo, SoCal departure, ready contact. Climb maintain 7,000.
Climb and maintain 7,000, roger.
Okay, rainy day off of Long Beach, headed down to Montgomery. This is a 2017 Citation M2 that we've been around essentially since this airplane was new. It's one owner, and it's been with us most of the time. It has about 1750 total time. It's on the
5 Kilo Bravo, climb maintain 1,000.
1,000, 5 Kilo Bravo.
It's got the TAP, Williams TAP Blue engine programs,
Bravo Bell, contact approach 128.1.
and pretty much a standard domestic spec for these M2s with synthetic vision, TCAS 1 traffic, XM, radar, Garmin G3000, pretty standard spec. This one's in really good condition. Like I said, we've maintained this airplane. We know it pretty well. We've been around it since new, and it's really in great condition. And our asking price on the M2s, on this M2 is it's $3,985, which we think is
5 Kilo Bravo, turn left heading 060.
Left turn 060, 5 Kilo Bravo.
Number 567 Mike Charlie.
Priced right. And you know, I've done many videos on these M2s and can't say enough good things about them. They're just really good, solid, entry-level category business jets. And I can't think of any customer we've ever had, anybody that's ever flown one, that has not had real positive things to say about it. And you know, which brings me to kind of one of the thoughts for this video is transitioning to a light jet, and we do a lot of that. Oftentimes, the airplanes that we sell, we end up doing flight training, transition training, type rating training, mentor flying, any number of things that a person transitioning out of a, you know, whatever they're transitioning out of into an airplane like this often needs a lot of, you know, many times it's their first jet.
5 Kilo Bravo, turn right heading 110.
Right turn 110, 5 Kilo Bravo.
And so there's a lot of questions. One of my one customer that I worked with, he transitioned out of a Cirrus, and he had a
Bravo contact approach 128.1, 28.1.
28.1,
he the way he thought about all the questions he had was he used his sticky notes and posted them on a piece of poster board, and it ended up being, you know, full of questions. And sometimes when you're in the business or you're around these airplanes all the time, you kind of take for granted, but if you're not, these are questions that you have. And so even if you're in aviation flying an airplane, you're a pilot, but if you never had a business jet or a, you know, a turbine airplane before, there's a lot of questions. Like I said, we take them for granted, but it was a interesting perspective to see it displayed on a poster board with sticky notes. Lots of questions, lots of things that you wouldn't know. So, and that's one of the things I think we specialize in is that transition. And we've transitioned people into M2s from, you know, from King Airs and TBMs and Meridians and SR-22s, Vision Jets, and it's been a lot of fun to do that. And you see a lot of different pilots. And so some of the high points probably to think about as you're contemplating a transition to an airplane like this. And, you know, coming out of a Cirrus, obviously you got to get a multi-engine rating, and that can be a handful, you know, just to find the right school.
Kilo Bravo, clear direct Cardi, maintain 250 knots.
Direct
Cardi 250 knots, 525 Kilo Bravo.
Direct to Cardi. And that would be in nav mode and 250 knots. So a multi-engine rating obviously is a requirement. So if you're flying a TBM, we've had customers flying TBMs and Meridians and they don't have a multi-engine rating, so you got to knock that out. And you know, flying in the system in a jet like this is a little bit different. And so oftentimes the mentor time, you need some mentor time to get used to it. It's not necessarily difficult. Things happen faster. There's a lot more speed. Like we're doing, you know, 250 knots indicated right now at ATC's request. And you know, if you're flying a Cirrus, you probably indicate 160. There's 100 knots. And again, it's not that it's that much more difficult. It just takes some getting used to, and you know, getting places faster and doing those types of things. Like right now, we're still a good distance from the airport, but I have to start thinking about preparing for the landing because at 250 knots we're going to be there pretty quick. So I'm going to take a break because I got a couple things to do here, like listening to ATIS. So I got the airplane set up for landing. I know what I'm expecting. Checklists are done. So we're still in IMC, but the weather at Montgomery is VFR.
Do you think a visual is possible at Brownfield? It's not.
As I was saying, it's not that flying these airplanes is so difficult. It's just a transition from airplanes that don't have this kind of performance. And so there is a transition required. And we do a lot of that. Often airplanes that we sell actually included in our acquisition service is time for the transition. And then also a type rating, like, you know, you got to get a type rating to fly these airplanes, and there's a lot of ways you can do it, a lot of different companies that do it, but we also do in-aircraft type ratings for Mustangs and M2s. And so, and you know, based on the experience we have doing that, there's some things about the transition that, you know, probably the most challenging from my perspective. And speed, as I talked about, speed is one of them, getting used to speed and the performance. Being pretty tight on instrument skills is really important flying these airplanes, because I believe that ATC has a little higher expectation for pilots flying these airplanes, and they expect you to maintain speeds, and they expect you to...
5 Kilo Bravo, flight heading 110.
1105 Kilo Bravo.
They expect you to be on top of things and just a higher level of pilot skill and capability. And so, like I said, being proficient in instrument procedures is very important. Mastery of the avionics, I think, that's generally speaking, we see people have pretty good understanding of how the avionics work, but I think when you're flying an airplane like this,
November 5 Kilo Bravo, descend and maintain 9,000.
9,000, 5 Kilo Bravo.
but you need to be pretty solid on
060 for everyone,
on the avionics as well. And planning. And planning is a big thing. Not only for planning an approach, what kind of approach you're going to do, what you're going to experience at cruise, airport environment, all those kinds of things you have to do as a pilot, but really getting back to
5 Kilo Bravo, descend and maintain 7,000.
7,000 now for 5 Kilo Bravo.
Getting back to what my customer did with the sticky notes is planning how you're going to transition, like, all the questions you have. How are you going to, where are you going to get the multi-engine rating? Where are you going to do your type rating? What's the insurance requirements going to be? Who's going to be your mentor pilot? If you're going to go to flight safety, oftentimes it's not a bad idea to train in the airplane before you go to flight safety, especially if you don't have any jet time, because it's a demanding environment at flight safety. Sometimes we've seen that the type rating training for people at flight safety is it's a lot to do. So these are all things that, because we've been through this process a lot of times, we can help with. So if you have questions about transitioning into these entry-level business jets, you have the ambition to fly them for business as an owner pilot. That's what we specialize in, and we can often provide a lot of clarity on what that process looks like. So and this flight we're doing here in this airplane is a pretty good example of the environment that you operate in. So, all right, now we're getting close to the airport. I've got my checks done, my descent, my approach check, and all I really got left is the landing check. And I'm going to now focus on being prepared to make the landing. I can see the airport, so we descended out of the weather, so we're in good shape.
Citation 5 Kilo Bravo, you're following traffic short final. Cessna, traffic on final 2, leave parallel, runway 2 right, clear to land.
Number 2 for 28 right, clear to land, 5 Kilo Bravo.
I got one.
Traffic holding in position, I'll call your base.
And see, I like to hand fly these sometimes and turn the flight director off and keep my visual approach skills up. Because it'd be easy just to join the localizer with the autopilot and fly it all the way down, but I'm trying not to look at that. I turn the flight director off and I'm just looking at the airport, and I got the field in sight, and I'm trying to, manage a good descent with speed control and keep my visual.
Bravo, number 1.
Number 1, 5 Kilo Bravo.
Flaps are full, gears down, 3 green, lights are all on, speed's coming in. The VASI says I'm high, but I like where I'm at.
Cessna 57 Echo base approved, traffic opposite base to the parallel.
Speed's coming in nice. Double check my gear, down and 3 green, landing flaps.
500.
500 foot call.
2904.
Wind's pretty much right down the runway. Now I like this, and then the VASI says it's good too, so I feel pretty good about that. I'm ref plus about 10. That's good. The runway's wet, so. Now the VASI says I'm really low, but I don't think so. I like it. I'm right at ref, power goes to idle. Just hold it. I want to touch down before the command bars. There they are, ground flaps. And brakes.
Citation 5 Kilo Bravo, turn left at Foxtrot or runway 23. Hold short, runway 28 left.
It will take 23 and hold short of 28 left, 525 Kilo Bravo.
We're on the ground at Montgomery Field here in San Diego. This is a 2017 Citation M2, about 17:35 total time. We're asking $3,985. It's on our website, ocraviation.com. You can leave us a comment. Thanks for watching.